Jordan stands in front of green forested hills.
My name is Jordan Broadhurst. I'm an exhibit specialist and I work for the Historic Preservation Training Center.
We fly above blue waters against the backdrop of the hills.
Today we are working at the Virgin Islands National Park in St. John, specifically the Cinnamon Bay Danish Warehouse located at Cinnamon Bay Beach.
A speedboat coasts over the surface of the bay. A historical ruin is surrounded by steel grating. A sign with the logo, National Park Service, has text, area closed, historic preservation work in progress. National Park Service, Historic Preservation Training Center, Southeast Region Caribbean Section. Emergency contact, 340-642-4331.
The Danish Warehouse was one of the oldest still operating buildings on the island of St. John up until 2017 when Hurricane Irma actually destroyed the building.
Vintage documents have photographs of a small slope-roofed building dating back to the 1960s. A satellite view depicts Hurricane Irma in the Caribbean.
And now it's no longer in use due to the hurricane damages.
A team in high-vis outfits stand around the building, which is only partly standing, with collapsed walls.
So now what remains is a portion of the wall, of some of the walls that were there.
Waves crash on rocks on the beach near the ruins of the warehouse. Text, Ahmed Tour, Visitor Services Program Manager, Virgin Islands National Park.
The Danish Warehouse at Cinnamon Bay was used as a warehouse in the 1700s, but more recently it was also used as a museum space where the park showcased some of its archaeological collection, including some Taino artifacts, which is also relevant to that area because there are remnants of a Taino village all in that Cinnamon Bay beach area.
The intact building stands with painted roof, doors, and shutters against a blue sky. A speaker in Taino dress speaks into a microphone. Footprints wander across the sandy beach.
So the museum actually is no longer in that space, and that's one of the reasons why HBTC is here, to help stabilize what's left of the structure.
Workers spread mortar over the top of a stone wall.
As part of our hurricane preparation, we remove artifacts and store them in other safe areas. So the artifacts we still have, but the structure was pretty much destroyed almost completely, and the remaining parts of it are being stabilized by the team from HBTC.
Workers reinforce a doorway sill. A hermit crab crawls along a red-painted windowsill.
Some of the work on this project entails us correcting underpinning that was caused during the destruction of the structure.
The uncollapsed remnants of the structure look out onto the water. Grasses grow from cracks amidst a crumbling wall.
In addition to that, there was vegetation growing at the top of the walls and some cracking in other areas and lost stucco.
A worker feels radiating cracks in a vertical wall.
So our team came in to correct some of those issues by rebuilding the foundation that was experiencing underpinning on the east wall and the sea buttress wall.
Workers spread fresh mortar around the crumbling foundation.
We did that by using materials from the area that were from the destroyed remnants of the building.
Workers use picks to break rocks down on the beach and carry them up to the building.
The cracking was remedied by repointing those areas using natural hydraulic lime and sand mixture.
Workers use a horizontal drum to mix the building material.
A mortar cap was also applied to the top of the walls after the vegetation and biological growth was removed.
The new mortar cap is smooth and slightly domed.
This helps to prevent any further vegetation and weather intrusion into the wall to cause further degradation.
Workers fill voids and cap more sections of the wall with mortar.
So I work in the Southeast Region Caribbean Division for HBTC.
A map displays over a dozen SER support team locations in the southeastern United States. The SER Caribbean support team in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands is highlighted.
And crew members from both St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands and San Juan, Puerto Rico have to come together to work on this project in St. John.
Also highlighted is the SER Caribbean support team in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
So some of the challenges we face on this project, because we are on the island of St. John, there's limited items that we can find here or materials.
The bay is filled with turquoise water. A small utility truck carries a large blue liquid container. Small bags of cement sit with their tops torn off on the sand.
So we have to source it either from St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, or from the U.S. mainland using a via freight forwarder to get it here.
From high above, a ship traverses the sea.
In addition to that, we had inclement weather because of passing storms.
Water falls on a camera lens amidst cloudy skies.
So projects get rained out and there's tasks that we can't achieve for particular days.
Workers cover the site with drop cloths and huddle under a canopy.
We have to push forward and make that work in a later part of the project.
Rain falls in torrents all around them.
This project is special to me because one, it is in my home, the US Virgin Islands, but also these structures are meaningful to me because to me they represent both my ancestors and the enslaved people that came to these islands. They're the ones that built these structures, and to me, by preserving these structures, it lets their legacy live on and allows others to see their craftsmanship and what their hands were able to do.
Fair weather clouds drift over a rocky portion of the beach at sunset.
It's really important to have a space and collaborators in the Park Service with the expertise of the folks at HBTC because we're responsible for caretaking of America's treasures, so the physical materials, artifacts, and buildings are part of that, those tangible objects that we can interpret.
Workers confer regarding the doorway of the warehouse. Elsewhere, they spread mortar on top of one of the stone walls.
And if we don't keep them in good repair, then we'll lose that part of the physical history.
A framed sign is headed with text, Historical Preservation Training Center, and features an information piece titled, Stabilizing the Historical Cinnamon Bay Danish Warehouse. What's happening here?
And it's very hard for people to understand what things were like at a different time without having these physical things that they can see and experience in real time.
Visitors mull about the sign and the outside of the fenced-off area surrounding the warehouse.
So, the work of HBTC is to study how these structures were built and to keep them to those standards while repairing them and preserving them for future generations.
Turquoise waves crash towards us. Logo, National Park Service. Text, National Park Service Historic Preservation Training Center. This project was brought to you by the Legacy Restoration Fund of the Great American Outdoors Act. It is being performed under the Maintenance Action Team program. Video production specialist, Emma Forthifer. Additional footage, Jordan Broadhurst. Archival footage, NPS photo/Richard Cizani, NOAA. NPS photo/Christy McManus. Music, Beautiful Serenity, by Anthony Edwin Phillips and Samuel Carl Bone. Under the Moonlight, by Michael LaShawn Martin and Nathan Bodeker. Special thanks HPTC South Caribbean team leader Dan Ritter.